With no resolution to what happened, his family and national civil rights leaders have raised questions of a racially motivated killing. A man living in this West suburban Berwyn apartment was arrested for allegedly making death threats to witnesses in the case to kill them, anyone in their homes, and any cops.
Why does these white boys need attorneys? Y'all done put it out there that people think they killed Nolan. And so people who think that these white boys killed Nolan, when there's no evidence that that happened, are now threatening to kill these white boys, their family, and they have been arrested. We've had people try it, review it, and the feedback has been absolutely amazing. Whether you choose guilty or not guilty, you're getting a premium bourbon with flavor, style, and a brand that stands out. Not Guilty has the smooth sweetness people love, and Guilty brings the bold, classic bourbon character. All you gotta do is go to verdictbourbon.com, plead your age, and face the verdict for yourself. You must be 21 and older. Please drink responsibly. All right, Super Chat, $100 Super Chat. Thank you so much for Jared40. You do an awesome job. Keep up the great work. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Let's get to an arrest that was made. Now, mind you, when you're looking at this impartially and you're saying, why does these white boys need attorneys? Why are these white boys doing interviews? Why are their parents doing GoFundMes and all this stuff? Y'all done put it out there that people think they killed Nolan. And so people who think that these white boys killed Nolan, when there's no evidence that that happened, are now threatening to kill these white boys, their family, and they have been arrested. We have seen not one arrest on Nolan's family, although they're claiming there's a lot of threats against them. I accept that, but there's nobody that's been arrested. The threats have not gotten to the level where people can go to jail. This is now 4 or 5 people that have been arrested and threatening the boys that was just his friends at the island. Look at the news story. Roll it.
A man in southwest suburban Berwyn was arrested for making death threats against people who were involved in this unresolved case. Now our investigative reporter Chuck Gowdy in studio revealing that Berwyn man's violent history and has the first photos of this accused threat maker. Chuck.
You do, Allison. Stephan. The Berwyn man's name is Edward James Porter, now facing federal charges in the Nolan Wells case for allegedly threatening to murder witnesses and their family members. 33-year-old Porter is being transferred by U.S. Marshals to the courthouse down in Mississippi. Our investigation of Porter's past finds a Metro Chicago man repeatedly described by authorities as a threat to safety because of his numerous arrests for violence and saying he was going to shoot people.
Village pump stopped working. We're sinking.
The heat index was a broiling 105 during last month's July 4th holiday weekend here on Horn Island, Mississippi. 18-year-old Nolan Wells had taken a short boat ride with friends, but didn't return home with them. His body found 2 days later, face down in the water. With no resolution to what happened, his family and national civil rights leaders have raised questions of a racially motivated killing. And then, as NBC Chicago's investigative team reported last week, a man living in this West suburban Berwyn apartment was arrested for allegedly making death threats to witnesses in the case to kill them, anyone in their homes, and any cops. Porter is also accused by federal prosecutors of threatening to cut up one witness and stuff the remains into a suitcase. Now, NBC5 Investigates uncovers the first photo of Edward Porter. This picture is from the Cook County Jail in 2025. But records we've obtained show Porter's criminal history began years earlier, in 2011, with 24 arrests.
Think about this. White people so bad in America, and racism is so bad in America, that when a black boy died, black people threaten to kill people. Like, what? I just don't understand. And then they go, the system is against us. Look at this mother track record. Look at his arrest record, bruh. Some of y'all ain't had a job this long. Some of y'all ain't consistently been on a job this many years. He is consistently breaking the law and getting out of jail. What happened to black people when they get in trouble, they get wet? Look at this. Most of y'all watching have done nothing from 2011 to 2026. One thing, some of y'all ain't been married that long. Roll the clip.
To follow for domestic violence, breaking court orders of protection, and theft. A city and suburban drifter with no known ties to Nolan Wells or Mississippi. Porter had an Illinois firearm owner card and a handgun that were taken from him when police say he threatened his ex-girlfriend, quote, "I'm going to shoot you." Charges later dropped when she stood down, and it's not known whether the FOID card and gun were returned to Porter. But now, after numerous gun violence, assault, and threat charges by Chicago authorities, most later dropped because the victim wouldn't testify, Porter is facing his first federal charges, accused of inserting himself for unstated reasons into this death mystery in Mississippi. The case against him, according to U.S. investigators, has a trail of cell phone calls from Porter to Mississippi witnesses and IP addresses, all linking back to him and this Berwyn apartment where he was living. When Porter was arrested 11 days ago, Berwyn police accompanied federal agents with the Chicago FBI field office apprehension team. According to Berwyn police records that NBC5 investigates obtained under the Freedom of Information Act, Porter did not put up a fight. He's due at a Gulfport, Mississippi courtroom on September 3rd. That'll be the first time he's seen down there.
So strange that he even...
This is the stuff that I be talking about. All right, let's get to some haters real quick because I want to put these people on blast so you guys can see the energy that I'm getting as it relates to, it's the random folks line, as it relates to my coverage of Nolan Wells. I want to put this in perspective real quick. I saw the case like everybody else. I've seen the playbook 100,000 times of jumping to racism when race is not even apparent or there's no evidence of race. And then I'm watching it would appear to be innocent people being accused with no evidence. But, hey, that's not I don't know these people. I reached out to Benjamin Crump. Hey, Benjamin Crump, what can you tell my audience? What do you know? Because what it looks like to us is that there's no racism. There's no impropriety yet. They don't respond. The other side responds. Hey, we would like to do an interview with you. They vetted me. We interviewed. I interviewed the kids. I put the interview out. People didn't even have to mention my name. I'm not a part of the interview. You could just listen to what the boy told me after I asked him questions. Make your judgment. But instead, I get so much hate and people saying I hate my own people and threatening to kill me because I interviewed white boys that they said knew what happened to Nolan, killed Nolan. Here's some of the people that's ridiculously lying about the whole thing. Roll the clip.
Did you catch this in Random Tatum's interview?
About anything else that was mentioned, thousands of lies, and now, the audio comes back, and all of a sudden we can hear Nolan yelling in the background, screaming, we're screaming about how he's dead. That's just a complete lie, and it's another lie.
Release the audio of the staged video then. Release it. That's a big slip up. It's a big mistake to say those words when you were actually there.
We have the video. We played the video. The reason we don't play audio is because some people are saying things and they're not involved. And some of the things that they're saying is maybe embarrassing to them. And they're not involved in this. But Nolan is not on any of these boats that's in the video. To protect other people's privacy that have nothing to do with this case, that's the only reason why we haven't put the video out and played the audio. Because other people's voices are in it. People are talking in the background. And it's not reasonable. Look at this bald head. Heifer. Roll the clip.
Officer Tatum, I don't with you. And you know that. I don't know why you even like my post. Did you think that I was coinciding with you? You gotta be out your rabbit coon mind. Let me explain something to you. The only reason why I use your screenshot is because you say it's always two sides to a story. The side that you on is Casper the Ghost, and you ain't over here with Aunt Jemima. Let me break it down to your mother. Casper the Ghost is white and Aunt Jemima is black. Let's talk about it. You want so bad to make these white boys to be innocent. But what about that black boy named Nolan Wells?
Time out. I honestly believe that the white boys, in my opinion, the white boys and their family, in my opinion, based on what I've seen, I almost feel like they want justice for Nolan more than anybody else. they the ones putting themselves in jeopardy to do an interview, to tell what they know and what they don't know about what happened to Nolan. All right. All right. This bald head fool said this, but she used my content, and she was bashing people because they were mad at her, and she used my stuff. And the only reason she made this video, put her bald head self back on here. The only reason she made this video is because she was getting backlash from black people and she couldn't handle it. This fool went and took my picture and put it up there and mentioned that people cannot compartmentalize, and there's no evidence of a crime in this Nolan Wells case, which is consistent with what I'm saying. But then she get backlash and want to do this. This why y'all ain't ever gonna be nothing. All right, continue. Not her. Do the next clip.
The black community knows when it comes to the king of the this is the final boss. This wears a super cape for white folks. And listen, let's not get it misconstrued. I'm all for holding the black community accountable. I think everybody should be held accountable, regardless of race. And if you know anything about this podcast, the history of this podcast, I've always held my own people accountable. But what I won't do is just make it seem like what he's doing, which is he only holds black people accountable. Everything you do is about black.
I want y'all to go after this video and look at my social media and look at all of my social media. These people are so deranged. It's crazy to me. What happens is when you are a community of people that want no accountability, when someone mentions accountability for you, you flip out and you make it all about you. If you look at my social media, I hold everybody accountable. When you cutting up, you cutting up. White police officers, black police officers. White politicians, black politicians. Democrats, Republicans, I call everybody out. And to be this stupid and to be a grown man to say that I only call out black people is crazy. The difference is when I call out a white person doing something wrong, I feel like white people generally, hey, we don't claim that person. Black people, a man can kill 400 black people and a white cop kill him in a justified shooting. Black people mad at you. I wrote a whole book about police incidents where I criticize police and I criticize suspects. And these ignorant Negroes can't help themselves but say, all they do is talk about, I wish we could pull up my Instagram. I know we can't. We run out of time to do it. Scroll down my Instagram. Hold on. Is there a way to pull up my Instagram up and scroll it? Probably not. Well, let me keep talking and then we can try to stand by. I just want y'all to see the perspective of what's going on. Like, on YouTube, we're covering the Nolan Wells case, so most of it is about Nolan Wells. But the general rule of thumb of what I do on social media, and I'm going to let y'all be the judge when we scroll the Instagram, and you tell me, out of all the breaking news clips, do you see it just being holding black people accountable? God of mercy. Roll the clip.
Shame. Is some of it warranted? Absolutely. But both sides. I don't know what it is about white pussy to make you forget who you are. And I'm not against interracial love. Love and loyalty is hard to find. So wherever you find it, love it, embrace it, do your thing. But not at the expense of you kicking the shins out of black people and pulling the rug from under us.
But the black people I do support, they blind to it. All the black Republicans that I campaign for, that I support, that I endorse, that I celebrate, they hate them, so those black people don't count. All of the black men that I post about that do incredible things, all the other black conservatives that follow me, that we share each other's content, they don't count. They not black. They don't count. If I support them, I love them, I elevate them, they don't count. These people are so stupid. Do we have it or no? Can we do it on the computer here? Let me see. Let's keep going. Let's go A6.
The MAGA effect is in full effect. Let me tell you why. We just saw the interview with Officer Tatum, and now the four boys, which is insane. So here, number one, Here's how the MAGA effect works. They have to first become the victim and convince the whole world that they are the ones that are being victimized, right? Not so much. Now, they're going to sue the world. They can't do a GoFundMe because that's not going to work. They have to do a Give, Send, Go because that's the only platform that will let people like this actually grift off their best friend's unaliving. It's them against the world. What do they think? They're Tupac? Not. They're no Pac. Now, they have that bogus-ass list of influencers and media and all these people trying to get justice for their best friend. They've raised $165K. That is not enough money by a long shot to sue like all 85 people they want to sue for defamation. By the way, you cannot sue for defamation until this process is completed and we actually know what happens to know if anybody is actually lying. Now, they go on the conservative Officer Race Tatum's podcast. They have TMZ now playing in their pocket, all MAGA-driven media, ABC, CBS. It is all about the optics that are being orchestrated, allegedly, by somebody else. We don't know. Now, they say there's no race involved. There's no race involved in Mississippi. This is like going to the Playboy Mansion with a bop and everybody says you're the one who dirtied the grotto water. Does anybody believe in that? It's you, Mississippi. Wow, we continue to see people hung, people killed in Mississippi. You're still playing in our faces like Mississippi doesn't have a disgusting history? Now, everybody is focused on Horn Island, and literally, Nolan is being buried every single day over and over.
All right, I'm
instead of
focusing to this weirdo. These people are stupid. Why would they get attorneys? Because they're being sued. Nolan's parents sent them a letter telling them they need to preserve text messages and phone records and all kind of other stuff in preparation to sue them. That's why they have a defamation attorney. I'm trying not to get upset about this stuff. It's just people. I can't believe people are so stupid. I just can't believe it. Like, I can't believe that people questioning me in this whole thing because I interviewed somebody. We'll skip over this. That dude is a weirdo. He's a nut job. I don't even want to give him any airtime. Maybe we'll do some stuff on Umar Johnson. Before we get there, I want to tell you guys to go to tatumstore.com, tatumstore.com if you want some really cool merch. I love Jesus, and I have to love Jesus and pray every single day to keep my mind sane. I want to go off the handle and cuss people out and everything and threaten them. But I don't do it because I love the Lord, and he keeps me accountable. Go to Tatum Store if you want one of these shirts or any of our other cool merch. I'm going to have to jump quick to an interview, but Dr. Umar Johnson is the stupidest man. And I feel like a lot of people in the black community don't think he's a problem. I'm a problem, but he's not a problem. Roll the clip.
I believe Nolan was deceased before he hit the water. And the reason they held on to the throat tissue and the reason they held on to the lung tissue is they didn't want nobody to know that Nolan was murdered before he hit that water. Just like Emmett Till was murdered before he hit that water. Just like Dr. King's brother, A.D. King, was murdered before he hit that water. Remember, Art, when Dr. King's brother was murdered, Reverend A.D. King, they found him in a swimming pool.
To put the math equation together, why would the district attorney, for the medical examiner, risk his or her, I believe it could be a her, risk her entire career to lie about one kid? And we already know that Warren, whose stepmother is a judge, wasn't there. Jax wasn't there. Morgan wasn't there. Bart has an attorney and he's suing out of all y'all that lied on him. He had nothing to do with it. So we know all the boys that they put out on the media. Katie, it appears Katie has nothing to do with it. Everybody that they put out there in the media seems to have nothing to do with it. So why would the medical examiner lie, risk her career and go into prison to lie about one kid? That was an incredible kid that everybody loved. That it appears that nobody did anything to. He just drowned. Let him finish.
They ruled it a drowning. And then one of the paramedics said what, Art? One of the paramedics who took Dr. King's brother out the pool, Art, said he didn't have no water in his lungs. They kept the throat because it may have shown some trauma that Nolan may have gotten choked out. And then you got the red substance around the back of the head.
Substance.
That the DC medical examiner discussed.
He didn't discuss
We don't know
anything.
if Nolan got hit in the back of the head. We don't know if the blood simply drained to the back of the head. But
Pause. Let me tell you what these mindless people, what the problem is, what they don't do is they don't go to the next step. They do this in Charlie Kirk's case. You said he got strangled and murdered. Describe how did that happen? If he got strangled around his neck, are you saying somebody grabbed his neck? Or you said somebody tied something around his neck? If he's somehow strangled, he's going to have damage to the external part of his neck. If somebody, and you think a 6'3" potential NFL football player is going to let a little scrawny white boy hold his neck like this and choke him out and then throw him in the water. I've been around those boys. They not that big. Nolan seemed like he was big. He's a football player. And they somehow choke Nolan out like this, squeeze his neck, chokes him out. Then he's on the boat, dead. You can't, on the call, there's no evidence how he died, but he dead. Just say he dead. And the call is alluding to the fact that these people are surprised that he's dead, right? So you got the girl and others, he's on a boat, and they're surprised. So that means that he died somewhere else but the boat because they didn't witness him die because they sound surprised on his fake narrated call. And then they don't get to the next conclusion of how did somebody kill him. But then while he's struggling and while people are panicking and screaming that he died, Wyatt calls Cito. So he could be on a recorded line with evidence of him killing somebody in the background. On a boat that his foot could probably touch the end of the boat. Or at least if Nolan was on the boat, he could touch his foot to the boat and be driving it with his foot at the same time. He called him. He know what Cito is. He got a membership with Cito. They're after all the time. They know it's on a recorded line. I bet you $1 million that when you call Cito, they tell you it's on a recorded line. Or you know it's on a recorded line because it's an emergency. I got a dead man in here, they calling Cito. They know they killed Nolan, they call his mama. Hey, do you know where Nolan's at? We looking for him. They know he dead. They go, hey, we have his phone. Y'all can come get it. They put him out there. They go look for Nolan. Then they go do interviews. Their lawyers let them do interviews, but they killed Nolan. You can't be that stupid.